Okay, guys, please, let's come forward, like fill up the seat in front of you. Apart from this seat here, please, like just come forward because we'll be taking pictures and we don't want a situation where there'll be like empty seats and chairs. Please just come forward. Like apart from these chairs, we are starting from this second. Like no, you can't sit here. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Please let's come forward. If there's any empty seat in front of you, just fill it up. Apart from these ones here. Thank you. I'm really excited to meet you guys. Today I'm going to meet everybody here and we are going to talk. Trust me. By now you should be tweeting hashtag Tech Meets LMU and hashtag DSCLMU. So we are doing it this way. The person who has the highest number of tweets gets a special gift. I don't know, I'll take permission from Mr. Sani if you are going to announce the gift yet. So the person who has the highest number of tweets gets a special gift and gets a trip to London. So you should be tweeting now. You should be tweeting. I think I've retweeted a lot of tweets here right now. So you should be tweeting. Please fill up the seats in front of you if there's any empty seats. Apart from these ones at the front. Thank you. I'm really stoked right now and my adrenaline is very high. These two edges. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Senior guys here, please can we just come? Like, want to sit this side and this? Please, thank you. Just come towards this side. And guides towards this edge, please just sit here. Just fill up this seat here. Because of the pictures, we don't want it scattered. We want it. Thank you. I beg. Okay, you can sit at this second seat, but apart from this front row. Thank you, guys. Okay, we are about starting now, and wow. If this is your first tech meetup you are attending since you were born, just wave your hand. This is your first tech meetup. Wow, 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 awesome. Interesting. Okay, I attend other tech meetups at home. Anybody? Which one? Huh?
Steam Ledge.
Steam organized by. Wow. We're about starting now. I just want to welcome each and every one of us to the official launch of lot of how will I put this now? Okay, this is actually the first major meetup we are organizing in Landmark, and I want to appreciate every one of you guys who came out today. Thank you so much. We are going to learn a lot of things today, and there'll be a launch session. So I want you guys like a networking session. So, okay, let's say these three guys that are seated here, you meet him, and if you do any stack, maybe I do DevOps, and I work with Docker and stuff. You tell him, and it just so everybody will meet everybody in this place. You must talk to them, and tell them what you do and like what you expect, the problems you solve. You know how we do our thing now. Just okay, I do Android. I've built this app featured on this. Boast, boast, boast. It's allowed. I think there will be two hands-on sessions. The first one will be on design, taken by Courage, and the second one, Git and GitHub. I think the internet is free, so you can log in and start tweeting. And you can start using it. Sorry, I said login. You can start using it. It's free. So the second session, the second workshop will be taken by Mayokun, Git and GitHub. How many of us know Hacktoberfest? Hacktoberfest. You've heard of Hacktoberfest? Anybody? I did Hacktoberfest last year. Anybody? Wow. Okay, Hacktoberfest is just like supporting open source, hosted by partnership with DigitalOcean and GitHub. So the developers build stuff and support open source. So you get to win a t-shirt and stickers. I won the one for last year and it was shipped to my address. Okay, we are streaming now. They've started this live stream now. So you can tell your guys at home and spread on Slack, Dev2, and other social media channels. All right, guys, please, no downloads for now because of the stream. But we can tell you when to download maybe later. But for now, no downloads. Thank you, guys. No downloads because of the live, so that it will be smooth. It won't buffer. Thank you. So, okay, as I was saying, October 1st, I want you guys to check it out. The second workshop that's going to happen, the speaker is going to show you what to do, Git and GitHub, how to support open source, make your first pull request, and all of that. So visit hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com and make your first commit. Trust me, you get to win shirts, stickers, and all of that. It will be shipped to you. Actually, it's free. Okay, thank you guys. So now is the time for what? For what? We are beginning now. Like, so I want you guys to be focused and everything. Each speaker that is going to talk, we will ask some stuff on what he said. So the person is going to give us the right answer. We also have a package for you. You win something. Look at all these stickers here. Don't worry. Everybody's going to get stickers and all of GitHub cheat sheet and stuff. So now I want to introduce Michael Adeni. He wants to like tell us what brought about this Tech Meets LMU and what we expect after this event. Thank you, guys.
Sorry, guys, please just a minute. So good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Can you hear me? Obviously. Um, so we are starting now. This is 11:58. We're so sorry for the delay. Yeah. So my name is Mayoko Adeni, and I want to welcome all of you to the first tech event for the 2019-2020 academic session here in Landmark University. And what actually gets me excited about tech events like this is actually the people attending. So I'm too sure, like when Ore was talking, he was saying, if this is your first event, you should raise up your hand, and I saw a lot of hands come up. So yeah, so seated in here, we have an array of folks. We have developers, we have designers. Although even we are just starting, you're a novice, you're an expert. We have, the fact that we can actually come together to build a community where we share ideas and knowledge is what gets me happy. Over the holidays, a couple of us actually came together to brainstorm how we could raise tech talent here in Landmark University. And we could not help but come to a conclusion that the only way we could do this is through a community-driven event. And what do I mean by this? I mean building a community where we come together to share ideas, share knowledge, teach each other stuff, learn new skills, world-class skills, and become world-class at our craft. So that is actually what brought about this Tech Meets Lmu event. So Tech Meets Lmu is basically like the launch for this community-driven, should I say, action now. So Tech Meets Lmu is the birth of a community-driven event. And like I said, this is a launch event. So over the course of the semester, we'll be organizing more events, talking of hackathons, code labs, workshops, and what you may have. So different stuffs we'll be organizing over the session. So, and we are deviating from the status quo where we just hold an event and stuff like that. This is a different ball game entirely. So be it Android or mobile, front end, back end, full stack, you want to do cloud, AI, anything. So we'll be having events to actually help us learn these skills from scratch. So that's what we'll be doing over the course of the session. And so for today we have an awesome array of speakers, basically teaching us introductory stuff, but giving us a lot of information about awesome tools, design concepts, kickstarting your career in software development. So it's going to be awesome. And so to make this event a lot more fun, so we created an hashtag on Twitter. That's hashtag TechMeetLMU. That's TECHMEET, capital LMU. So highest tweet at the end of the day, we're giving out, we'll get 20 gigabytes of data and a coupon to a learning resource worth over $200 US. So get your iPad, get your laptop, get your tablets, start tweeting hashtag TECHMEETSLMU, the capital TLMU. Yeah. And so without wasting any more of our time, I would love to invite our very first speaker for today, in person of Adeojo Emmanuel, who will be taking us or teaching us on how we can kickstart a career in software development. Thank you. So put your hands together for him. Come on.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm Adeojo Emmanuel. I am in Department of Computer Science, 400 level. I'll be talking to you guys about kickstarting a career in tech. Me myself, I'm a developer. I've been coding for 7 years or so. I have experience in a lot of technologies, PHP, Python, and Node.js. So the idea of actually like coming up with a community in Landmark, we just thought of it like if we're just going to be coding to ourselves and not teaching other people or like trying to straighten other people, it's going to like be a bad ball game for us. I say we actually didn't do anything at the end of the day, which actually was the inspiration behind coming up with a community to actually start teaching people. We identify each other. When you have an issue, you can easily learn, ask questions, and all. So I'll be going directly to my slides. Okay, so the kickstarting a career in tech. As I just said, my name is Adeojo Emmanuel. My Twitter handle, you can follow me, my Stack Overflow, and also GitHub profile. You can see some stuff I do or open source I also contribute to. So I'll be talking about what software development is, my experience, what you need to actually go forward like in software development, the branches of software development, your do's and don'ts, and probably tools you can actually use in software development. For now, we're actually not going to be doing my own section won't be doing any live demo. So you can actually just use your computer to take note or something, or just try to pay attention. So, so first of all, what is software development and the trends going on in software development? Software development is the process of conceiving, specifying, designing, programming, documenting, testing, bug fixing, involved in creating and maintaining an application, framework, or other software components. There's a reason I actually listed all these things. I outlined them like this. I guess some people will say I don't do software development. I don't like it because I don't feel I know how to do it. But if you look at actually all these things I listed here, one way or the other, you'd actually be able to get involved in one. Funny enough, documenting, testing, bug fix, programming, designing. So some of us, I guess, some of us like designs. So the moment you have your flair for that, you can actually get like, you can grow in it and become very good in it. Documentations, you can actually write documentations for like softwares that people work for and others like that. So one way or the other, you actually have a hand like in the old branch, like you can actually do something in it so far you want to. You just need to have the passion for it, and I think you're good to go. Okay. So what are the trends? I'm going to be talking about trends in software development. This list was published last year or earlier this year by Stack Overflow. It's talking about programming languages that are often used across the globe. And that's on Stack Overflow specifically, because other websites will still pick they'll have the different ratings. So top 5 most loved programming language: Rust, Python, TypeScript, Kotlin, and WebAssembly. So these are just languages that people love, and the top 5 wanted languages. Okay, before I talk about these wanted languages, I'm going to talk about, let me give some experience of people I know that actually do tech, and they make a lot from it. There's a guy, he was supposed to be here today, but he couldn't really make it. His name is Boluwatife. He was a previous CSC rep. He finished from Landmark, he codes, and today Boluwatife works at Avalion. It's a company in Netherlands, and he makes close to 2 million naira monthly by just programming. He picked up his notch, he got good at it, he got a job, and he makes a lot from it. And so what I'm trying to say is, so far you just want it, not really, it doesn't really necessarily have to do with your course. I guess some other guys are NII, or you might think, okay, I'm not in computer science, you can't do it. You really can code, it doesn't really matter about the department or anything. You get? So I'm talking about like the top 5 the 5 wanted languages. So these are languages that actually employers are trying to get people to work for them in. We have Python, JavaScript, Go, TypeScript, and Kotlin. So I guess some guys, I've heard some guys like in 200 level computer science say you write Django. If you write Django, can you raise your hands? Okay. You have a few guys who write Django. So Python is actually one of the top languages that employers are actually looking for. JavaScript, and I guess JavaScript has a lot of framework. React, Vue, Angular, they're all under JavaScript. And Go is also a programming language. I don't think a lot of you might know it. TypeScript, and we also have Kotlin. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about my own experience in programming. So all these emojis, I use them to describe how it might be. You might be extremely angry. You might be confused. You might be very happy. And sometimes you might feel like a clown, because it's really annoying once in a while, where you feel you're doing something and it's supposed to work, and it's probably just one little mistake, and it's not working. That's how it seems to be. It's really annoying. And I think this is actually the stage where a lot of people actually leave the old trail. Like you might be gingered to want to start coding. And after a while, you meet something and you're unable to resolve it for almost 2 weeks, and you're like, just fuck it, I'm going. You don't want to do anything anymore. But these are stuff you should actually expect. When I started coding, I think I didn't really have a mentor as at that period before I got a mentor actually. So I literally did everything. I was writing Java one day, I was writing Python the next day, I was writing JavaScript another day, I was writing Perl another day, because I wanted to know everything. But at some point, you can't actually just know everything. You just need to be focused, set to know what you want to do. And this is actually one of the importance of a community. If you have a community, you'll be able to learn better. I guess you might know me, you have a bug. Not because you can actually solve it, but sometimes your state of mind at that instant in time might not give you the opportunity to be able to figure out your error. You need to meet someone else to just get a fresh view of it, and it might actually figure it out for you. That is the importance of a community. So this community is actually going to help you to be able to learn faster, better, and also have people to refer to when you're in times of trouble. So I just want to urge you, if you're going to be going into the old tech, be ready for this. Be ready to get angry, be ready to be happy, be ready to feel like a clown. Sometimes you'll be confused. Okay. So what are you going to need to actually start coding? First of all, the first thing I put here is that you have to reset your mind. You need to put yourself in a state of mind that it's not the normal, usual way you read for exams that you'll be able to learn how to code. It doesn't work that way at all. It doesn't work that way. You need to be open-minded, be ready for anything. So you need to put your mind back in the state that, okay, I want to actually learn. You're not learning it to pass an exam or to just pass something. You can't cheat your way through in this programming. You can't. You really need to know it. You grow over time, and you get to understand stuff more and more. So you really can't cheat your way through. You need to be open-minded. So you need to be ready to actually learn. That's the first thing. And secondly, you need to identify what you want to learn. So I think earlier I told you about that there are also different people, there are different languages that you can actually major into, Python. So probably after a while, and from the definition of software development, I also talked about the designs, documentations. So you need to be focused. What do I want to do? I want to learn design. So okay, I'm going to start learning design. What are the tools I'll use for learning design? I need Adobe, I need this. You should be focused on that initially. You can't say you want to be doing design and doing back-end development simultaneously. You'll get lost. And eventually, you won't be doing anything at the end of the day. So, secondly, you have to know what you want to learn. So by the time you know what you want to learn, okay, let's say I want to go into front-end development. So I'm going into front-end development. So you need to now be ready to learn and build your skills. Okay. Oh, sorry, my voice wasn't out. You need to learn to build your skills. Like when you're ready, like after you identify what you want to learn. So I say, for example, you want to learn Django, just like other people. Then now you should be ready to learn. You should be ready to learn. These are a list of places you could learn. I think they'll be sharing. They said they will ask questions at the end of the day, and anybody will get a free coupon. You could go to these sites, learn or check for your notch what you want to learn, and you get free courses. They'll teach you how to do it from introductory manner to like advanced level. So these are sites, you can actually write them down: Plural site, Udemy, Udacity, EDX, and Coursera. Advise you write them down so you don't forget, because personally I even get to misplace them once in a while. So, oops, sorry, please can you go back? I'm ready. Okay. Be open to collaborate, connect, meet people, and join a community. When I started coding, initially, I wasn't really open to collaborating. I don't want to connect. Something I spend nights writing, I'll not give someone just like that. Because they say we should connect, and I didn't see it that way. But then, if you are actually that way, you restrict yourself a lot from learning. If you don't want to like share with other people, you don't want to use other people's ideas on your own stuff, you would not learn. You will just notice you're in a particular spot for a very long time. So you should be open-minded to working with other people, join a community, get a group. You guys can come up, okay, let us build stuff, let us rebuild the whole attendance system. You do the front end, I'll do the back end, you do the design. So this actually helps people to like, you learn better, you get to know stuff more, because you see another person's point of view, the way they actually solve stuff, and you actually learn from it. Even if it might be lesser than how you solve your own, but you still realize that one way or the other, you get something from the other person. And lastly, you should be ready to practice. You should be ready to practice as a software developer. You must code every day. Literally, you must see code every day. At some point, there was a guy called Bot. That was one of the persons that taught me how to code very well. He works at Andela now. He's a senior developer. So, like, you must practice every day. So, sorry, I was talking about Bot. I used to see Bot's code then, and it was like, man, when would I ever be able to write this? Like, I just see something, I'm confused. And like, his level of abstraction is just too high that I don't really get it. But I think after a while, I started seeing codes every day, regularly. I see more complicated stuffs. And at some point, I didn't even know I'd actually started writing like that, until some people now saw my code and they're like, Jesus, how did you do this? Like, how do you start this? You have over 1,000 lines of code, and unconsciously, I don't even know. It's growing little by little, and it actually starts from one line to grow and grow and grow. And what is going to help you is actually practice. You need to see code every day. You need to interact with your computer, interact with your IDE every day, and you get better eventually. Just realize that someone tells you to do this thing, and once as they're telling you the idea in your head, you're actually processing how you're actually going to build it up. Just because you've practiced, you've done a lot of stuff previously. It's actually going to help a lot. Okay, next slide. So, the branch of in tech. I think I talked about branch before, but now we have full stack development, back end development, front end, desktop or enterprise application, mobile development, dev and cloud up. Then DevOps and cloud. Okay, so I'm going to start from full stack. The full stack development works like this. Let me say regarding the web. So the front end generally means what the user sees. Front end generally means what the user sees. So back end is what interacts with like the database. What interacts with the database, what sends data. So I'm going to give an example with our login page. our login page, like the internet boundary login page. So taking for example, that page you see, what you see directly is actually called the front end. So those are that's what front end developers do. So the moment you type your username and your password and you press the submit button, it confirms it from somewhere. Where is that? That's the back end. That's what is going to collect the username from the front end and actually now go and check the database. Does this username exist? Yes. The password, does it matches the password there? No. So it returns an error back to the front end, and front end developer will take that error and display it to the user. It says incorrect password. That's how front end development and back end development works. So now full stack development is now people that actually do the two, which is actually very difficult. I don't really believe in the whole full stack myself, but sometimes some companies make you do it. Some people just do it just to collect bigger money, but I don't really believe in it. You should actually try to focus on one particular area and be extremely good at it. So, but some people actually categorize themselves as front end. Me personally, I'm a back end. After a while, I realized I don't really like design, so I just do back end development. Though I love to play with codes, I still do front end once in a while, but not like if I'm being given a job, that's where I want to handle. Now I want to actually do back end. I'm more comfortable with that place. You get? So next we have desktop and enterprise application development. So an example of desktop application, like, okay, did any of you see the desktop net stuff? Did you know the desktop net stuff? No, you don't. Okay, browser, web browser is a desktop application. Your Chrome is a desktop application. So they develop desktop application, you have different technologies. Java EE, Enterprise Edition, used to develop desktop application. Then I'll tell you one good thing. Technology has actually evolved, software development has evolved to the point where you actually build desktop application using HTML and CSS. Like, it's actually now that easy. So desktop application, you can actually pick to go into desktop applications, developing that way. And we have mobile development. Again, software development has gotten advanced, so where you build mobile apps with HTML and also CSS. They have different frameworks for those: Ionic, React. How many of you have heard of React Native or React? Nobody? React. You've not heard of React? How about, React. How about Ionic, Cordova, Native Script? There are a lot of them. You can actually use them to develop mobile apps, and it's quite easy and faster. But at the same time, some languages were actually created mainly for mobile app development. For instance, Java. The Android device runs on Java. So you can actually build mobile apps with Java. Now, you now ask, why am I building with, why should I build with Java when I can build with HTML and CSS? It still has a strength over time. When you want to do more complex stuff that will require you to relate very well with the OS itself, eventually you have to actually go to those native language. But what this hybrid technology uses is they are fast. If you want to do development, like I always use hybrid. I don't write Java myself because I want to build for iOS and Android simultaneously and just deploy. And it's easier for me. I understand it better. But still over time, I think I once had an issue. I was trying to build an app that's going to do something with the device. I think I want to detect some kind of things. It was an accident emergency. Let me just say it that way. So like, if first like a particular kind of sound, if it gets a particular kind of sound, it's going to like pop up an alert. So, but I was working with React, and at some point I realized I can't actually do that with that particular technology. Okay, because I had gone very, 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 very far. I had to now start all over again with another language, just because the language was not, the framework was not like that advanced to do what I want to do. So these are actually just different parts. And lastly, DevOps and cloud. DevOps and cloud, they do with optimizing servers, databasing and all. So for example, let me give an example. You can have like, okay, just take it, 10 people are logged in on a particular site simultaneously, it's going to work well. But imagine those 10 people that are logged in on that site, it's no more 10 people, but like 1 million users. What do you think will happen? It's going to probably run very slow, not do what it's supposed to do. That's actually where DevOps comes in. They try to help or do stuff that will help you manage different users on a particular thing very easily. So you can actually pick a particular branch from all these lists I just brought out. So I'm going to be talking about don'ts, first of all, before I talk about your do's. While learning how to code, first of all, don't do like endless research on technologies without spending time actually writing codes. I'm sure a lot of us must have wanted to, or previously want to learn how to code, and you've just been reading, watching videos, and eventually you're actually not doing anything, or you feel you don't know anything. Just wasted time. So most of the time you actually need to write code than actually doing too much research. Secondly, let problems in your code not pile up endlessly without checking if it's actually working. So let me say you were doing something before, and after a while, that thing is not working. You now leave it, you do another, you now leave it, you do another, you now leave it, you do another, and you now have a lot of problems. Eventually, that app will fail at the end of the day, because you can actually like now start going back to trace all those errors. I'm actually saying this because over time, when you actually pick that interest in coding, you actually meet these things at the end of the day. You get? So don't learn to, these are going to be health-wise. A lot of times you guys must have said, you see movies where they categorize developers as geeks, where they try to make us feel like, oh, we don't know how to relate to people. And sometimes these are the causes. You code too much in isolation, you lock yourself up in a dark room, and you just code in. And after a while, you now come out, you can't relate to humans again. Just look at this guy is stupid. What is this guy saying? I don't want to talk to anybody. It's not nice. It's not good. I used to use glasses before, but for some reasons I stopped because I was getting too much notation that I'm a geek. It's not actually nice. You should try to learn to relate to people. Don't get yourself to a particular point where you are like an alien. I don't want to talk with people too much. Slides. Okay. Don't get too emotionally early in programming journey. Still on your health. Don't become an addict. You're coding and it's frustrating and you punch your screen. Don't do that. Try to be able to, it's annoying to a very big point. It's very, very annoying when you start coding and you start facing all these challenges. It's very annoying. You can slap somebody. Something's annoying you, someone now comes. You can give the person slap when you realize that you've offended or you've done the wrong thing. So you should try to like get yourself emotionally okay when you are learning this thing. Over time you will learn, you get better. Sometimes there are some things that you can't just learn in a day. You have to take time to learn it. You get? So what next? Yes. I think you must have seen movies where they put like 6 different screens and you're coding. Why are you doing with 6 screens? I used to ask myself that question. You actually don't need it to become a badass programmer or a developer. You don't need 6 screens. Don't deceive yourself with that. You can focus on what you're doing. Probably eventually over time, for your personal reasons, you will know why you need multiple screens for your personal reasons. But don't think like it's a requirement to actually like be better at coding. Next. Oh, sure. Okay. So don't overlook the difference between capital and lowercase letters. It's just keep this at the back of your mind, because you get an issue that you spend a week, you now realize that it was a capital letter that caused it. That will be painful. That will be very painful. So just keep that at the back of your mind. I felt I should mention it because it has affected me before. Ask for help, but don't ask for it the wrong way. You get? Be open-minded. Be free if you want to talk with people. If you feel you're having it, don't be too proud, like, I know this thing better than this guy. So you now talk to him anyhow, because ask for help the right way. Because if you meet me and you're like, you do me, I won't answer you. I won't answer you. So be open-minded, be free to ask for help from anybody. And okay, this is a very critical point, refusing to change bad code. So let's say, for example, it took you a year to write something. It took you a year to write one particular code. After 1 year, someone now come to meet you and say, this your code is crap. It is not the right way to do it. After 1 year, the answer is to change it. You want to because you know the effort you've actually put into it while coding that thing. So, but then you should actually be open-minded, be ready to start it again. It helps you to get better. These are what, if you want to build a product, these are what you should do. Or you want to become a CEO of your own, or you want to work for a top tech company like Google, or like, you just need to be ready, be willing to change what you feel is not good, and learn from others. Next. Okay, so let me my time is almost running out. Expect that there will be time where you fully, yes, this particular one. Some people feel there's going to get a period where you understand everything. It is not possible. I don't know everything. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know everything. The best developer doesn't know everything. It can never get to that point. You are learning every day. There's always something that will just burst your bubble one day like that you will understand. So don't expect that. Just know that everybody, the thing is, the programming way, it goes like you are learning, and you get to a particular level where you just experience that you have. You will grow to that way and meet that person that same way. The only difference between you guys is experience, years of experience, you get. And okay, your do's. Try to learn deeply about the programming language you are using. So as I told you before, if you are learning Node, learn it very well. Get to know it very well. After you get to know it, where you can do what you want to do, you can build a whole system which you can move to something else. You get. Practice programming every day, as I say. Try to write your code in a way that the time complexity or space complexity is minimum. Computer science guys, can I see your hands? Oh, nice. So, as a computer scientist, one of the things, I'm not talking only to computer scientists, but everybody. One of the things you always consider while building your product, time. Space complexity, time complexity. Over time, we'll teach you guys in class, or you guys that are not going to attend our class, you should actually put it into consideration. If you're going to build something that will solve a problem and will take 10 seconds, and I build it that's going to take 0.1 milliseconds, everybody will prefer mine. You get? You should also always consider time complexity, space complexity, and all while learning. Code in various websites, pick up challenges like, HackerRank. Have you heard of HackerRank before? HackerRank, CodeChef, CodeForce, try to check up on it. There are always different challenges, It's going to help you solve and understand this thing better. Read other people's code, study the libraries you use. That is, you see some people that will build a library of almost 50,000 lines and you're surprised. Read it. While you're reading it, you're getting one kind of inspiration. Sometimes you can, bot usually tell me it's a spirit. Like, the spirit is entering you while you're reading it. Also, after a while, you just realize that you're actually coding as bad as that. Just read it, it helps you. Don't just learn with structure. Learn with a good structure. You get, when you're learning, not just like, okay, you do this, learn it in the way it's supposed to be done, in a standard, you get. So, lastly, I'm talking about tools. These are just tools that you can use. If you want to, you can download. That's after now, you should wait because we're streaming live. Sublime Text, Microsoft Visual Studio, Android Studio, NetBeans, PyCharm. You use Sublime for anything. I'm a Sublime Text fan. Okay, do I have the sticker here? No. But I'm a Sublime Text fan. I use the Sublime Text for literally everything. A lot of people have issues with me, but that's what I like. Some people like Microsoft Visual Studio. Steven, those two guys, they can die to defend that Microsoft Visual Studio is better than Sublime, but I prefer Sublime. Android Studio, people use it for different things, Java and all. NetBeans, still Java, PyCharm, people use it for Python. Another tools that you can use, XAMPP. XAMPP, who writes PHP, or you know what PHP is? Good. I'm a very good person. I'm a good fan of PHP. I stay with PHP. So XAMPP, you can use for PHP, NPM for Node, and PIP for Python. So just get to know these things, check up on them. Something can just make you like it. You can just like one particular thing about it, and boom, you have a flair for it already. So really, you guys can check up most of these. If you can put it up so that you can write them down and download. So thank you very much for listening, and God bless.
All right, thank you, Adeojo, for opening this session with your talk. Okay, there'll be a paper that will go around. I want you guys to please write your web mail. We want to open a Slack group. How many of us here use Slack? I use Slack. Oh, I've used Slack before. Okay, Slack will be like our official channel where we pass information and stuff in case we want to hold anything or any event. So, how many of you are fired up? Like after this event, I will start coding, full stack, front end, back end, design, UI, DevOps, and stuff. Okay, please, when you're tweeting, tweet at Landmark University. And our YouTube link is live now, so you can tell your family members in the village or at home they should watch our event. It's live on YouTube now. Okay, our next speaker, Courage Egbude, is going to talk. How many of you know him? If this holiday, if you're following him, he won this Ingressive organized this design like a competition. He was the one that took second. So I call him the beast, like he does UI and UX designer. He can even design me like everything like this. He can do, undo, and do. So put your hands together as we welcome Courage Egbude. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Courage. In 500 level EIE. I'm a user interface designer, and user experience designer, and also a graphic designer. Okay, before my slides come up, how many of us here have used Photoshop? Photoshop, okay, that's nice. Illustrator, XD. Voila. After my session, I'll do a little hands-on XD practice for us, so we'll know exactly what Adobe XD is for. Okay, next slide. Okay, I'll be talking basically on what design is, principles of design, user interface design, UX design, and some tools you can use to help you. Design. A design is a plan or specification for the construction of an object or system, or for the implementation of an activity or process, or the result of a plan or specification in the form of prototype, product, or process. Basically, what everything here is saying is, before you come up with a product, before you come up with an application, before you even build a house, there has to be a design. You can't just start. Most people, most developers, before they create applications, they are user interface designers that design the interface, carry out user testing and prototyping before they give them and they start coding. It works either way. You can code first, then design later, or design first, then code later. Excellent. So the basic fundamentals of design is form, color, typography, layout, and composition. There's about 16 of them, but these are the basics. Okay, form. Before we understand the form, we need to know what the shape is. I think everyone here should know what the shape is now. Do I need to define the shape? Is it necessary? Okay. A form is a three-dimensional development of a 2D shape. When you have a shape such as a circle, triangle, rectangle, and the rest, the form is just a combination of those shapes into 3D formats. Most designers do not use forms because 3D is quite technical. So they prefer to use images or just normal shapes. Types of form: geometric and organic. Geometric have precise curves, angles and straight lines that make them difficult to draw with hand. That's your normal rectangle, square. Those are geometric shapes. Then organic shapes are a combination of those geometric shapes, like your heart shape, your star, and the rest. These are examples of geometric, sorry, and this is an example of organic. If you know, go back, sorry, please. If you notice, these have precise angles. They are not just anyhow. While the organic can be any form you like. So, next. Next slide. Okay. Color. A color conveys a message, a sense of emotion, and a mood. But how exactly do we use color to our advantage as designers? Has this never happened to you before? You go to the supermarket and you probably want to buy, let's say toothpaste, for example, and there are so many ones, but you're like, oh, okay. You probably don't know what's inside the toothpaste. You probably not used it before, but because of the design, because of the way the color catches you, you just, I want to use this one. Has it ever happened to you before? Nobody. Well, okay. Over the time, people have studied color, and they've come to the conclusion that color has a lot of psychology associated with it. And, sorry, please, a lot of psychology associated with it. And as graphics designers, we use color theory first to be able to make things easier for us, so we don't have to be just putting any color on our design, no. Another helpful tool for graphics designer is the color wheel, which shows the color in relation to each other. The color wheel usually includes 12 hues. A hue is a basic color, which is being darkened or lightened. The hue usually includes primary color, red, blue, and yellow, secondary color, orange and purple, then tertiary colors, as mixing your primary and secondary color. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Whenever we talk about color, most of us don't know that each color has a particular meaning to it, or there's a purpose which some people make use of some colors. For example, red. Red is a very passionate color. That's why most of the time, during Valentine's Day and all that, they make use of red. It's a very active color, it's exciting, it's bold, it's physical, it has a lot of energy. That's why most sports clubs use red. If I'm correct, most sports clubs use red. Manchester United, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and the rest. Some brands that make use of red: Red Bull, Pinterest, Coca-Cola, Virgin, Lego, and Kellogg's. Then pink. Pink is a sense of love, calm, respect, warmth, long-term, feminine, intuitive, care, assessive, sensitive, nurture, possibilities, and unconditional. That's why our breast cancer awareness is in pink. That's the major reason for the pink, not because you just want to use any color. Because when you talk of pink, the first thing that comes to your mind is feminine or female. Sorry. Some brands that use pink: 3, Barbie, Victoria's Secret, Cosmopolitan. Purple. Purple is deep, creativity, fantasy, respectable, distinguished, wealthy, modest. Purple has a sense of royalty to it. Purple is a kind of color that mostly royalty use or make use of. So if you are designing for, let's say, let me say a country, for example, or sorry, for like a king or something, you should have something like that. You should have that color in mind, although it's not compulsory anyways. Navy makes use of trust, order, loyalty, sincere, authority, confidence, peace, control, responsible, and calm. That's why you see Facebook makes use of blue, Navy, sorry. Twitter also, Gap, and the rest. Yes, there has been a study that shows that if you are going for an interview with your employer or with an employer, it is best to wear blue because it gives the person that's interviewing a sense of trust. It's psychology. It's not compulsory, but it's just a study anyways. Green. Green, everybody knows green. Growth, restore, sanctuary, equilibrium, generous clarity, prosperity. Blue, also almost same as navy. Perspective, content, control, rescue, modern, goals, aware, open, ambition. Then orange, instinct, optimistic, extrovert, social, freedom, impulse, motivation. Next slide, please. The color theory. This is supposed to be with the colorway, but the colorway will be shown after this slide. When you are designing and you start designing and you want to use colors, there is a certain pattern you should follow. That's basically what the color theory is. Monochromatic is done by picking a single color, then using your saturation to reduce the value to create variations of the color scheme. For example, if I pick blue, I can increase it. I can use blue to design a certain page of, let's say, an application, but it will be all blue. But there will be variations in how light it is and how dark it is, but still blue. But that's exactly what monochromatic is. Analogous color scheme uses the colors next to it on the color wheel. That's such as red and orange, cooler colors like blue and green, and so on and so forth. On the color wheel, there are 12 colors. So an analogous uses the one exactly beside it, whether left or right. Then complementary, they make use of colors opposite to each other. For instance, blue and orange, red and green. To avoid simplicity, add saturation tones. When making use of complementary colors like that, you might want to increase your saturation or reduce your saturation depending on you anyways. So just to make it look good. Split complementary involves the use of colors on either side of the complement. It forms a triangle, but not an equilateral triangle like triadic. Split complementary is just two colors down, then the top color, like that. It forms a triangle. It doesn't have to be equal. Then triadic is almost like split complementary, but it's an equilateral triangle of colors. Then tetradic is a rectangle. That's 4 colors, using 4 colors to design. Instead of talking, let me just show you guys. Sorry, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay, it's not showing here. This is the color wheel. This here, the top one here, is an example of complementary, seen as they are opposite each other. This is your analogous. Talks about the one next to it, depending on what you want. This is triadic. This triangle is equilateral. That's why it's triadic. The split complementary down here is not equilateral. But if you use any of these color patterns to design, depending on how you put it and how you make use of it, it will come out very well. That's the color theory, basically. Next slide. And typography. Typography can be simply put as an art and technique of arranging type. Typography is one of the most commonly used elements in graphic design. Type is the most direct way to communicate, virtually typically sets either as headers or paragraphs. Most of us know what fonts are now. We type, so we should know what fonts are. Okay, the thing about fonts is when you want to make use of a font, it sends a message. There are some fonts you make use of that when someone opens your documents and reads you, very okay, yeah, this person is being very serious, even if the person hasn't seen you before. And there are some fonts you make use of that are just playful and just there. So that's the thing. When you are working as a designer, when you're working on an application or you're working on a website, you should know who you are creating that website for. And that would tell the type of font you should use for such a website. Single letter typeface is a combination of geometric and organic shapes. Okay. We spoke about geometric and organic. So basically what it's saying is typography is just a combination of shapes into letters. That's just basically what it is. Words are equally important. Style of typeface. Typefaces do not communicate literally. They communicate visually. For this reason, the choice of typeface used in the designer is crucial to set the intent, look, and feel, set the tone, add a character to piece of work. Like what I said now, if you send your CV to somebody and you just use any form, before the person even wants to read, the person already has an idea, okay, maybe this guy is not a serious person. Like, what kind of font is this? Even down to our assignments sometimes, there are some particular fonts of to make use of just for that particular reason. Next slide, please. Okay, categories of fonts: sans serif, serif, slab serif, rounded script, backletter, decorative, abstract, so on and so forth. The first fonts that we used initially was serif. That was back in 70s, back then. The difference between serif and sans serif is this pointy edge. That's the difference. That's what sans means actually. It means no serif. So slab serif is still the same as serif, but it's kind of flat. It's not as pointy as this one. Then rounded is mostly made use of for children, for kids, because they communicate more with shapes and all that. Then script is for designs, want to make something decorative and all that. Backletter is old English. That's the font they made use of then. And decorative is just decorative, I guess. Then, as for your abstract is when designers just come together and just want to just do something crazy with fonts. That's abstract. It's not really under your serif or sans serif. Examples: type can be both functional and decorative. Type is functional when it's used to inform and deliver a clear message, while type is decorative when it's only used to inform but partially is placed in the creative aspect. Okay, this is example of functional. Like if you are looking at a flyer, their fonts should be functional. It shouldn't be, it can be decorative, but it should pass the message it's supposed to be. It should not just be, okay, this flyer is fine, then you didn't now read anything there. Then decorative, this here is an example of decorative. This here is also a font. I think it says cube. This particular one, cube 1, N-O-O. Then this also is an example of decorative. Then this also. So when you are making use of fonts, you should know how to put them. If you are doing something very serious, I don't encourage decorative. you should just go straight to the point. And if you are designing for, let's say, a party or something, yeah, you can work with decorative. Next slide. Okay, the last fundamental of design is layout and composition. Basically, layout and composition comprises of proximity, white space, alignment, constructs, hierarchy, and repetition. Together, when you work with these, your design, it makes your design easier. Even if you don't know how to really use color or typography, when you know how to use layout and composition, it makes your design easier. It makes you look more professional. It makes you look like you know what you are doing. So proximity. Proximity is all about using visual space to show relationship in your content. For example, here, you notice that these 4 circles are all in a square, and they're on one side of the card. This is a business card. This, the name and the position also on one side. The details also on one side. And I'm very sure if you check, they are all aligned. So it's not like one is high, one is down. Although there are ways to do that. There are ways to design that and make it look good. But if you are beginning and you don't really know how to use alignment and proximity, I don't advise you do it because your design will look very scattered, trust me. Next slide. Then white space. White space is not actually white space. It's not a blank space. It does not really mean white space. It's just negative space. Like the space between lines and even outer margins. There's really no correct way to use white space, but it's good to understand its purpose. White space helps you define and separate different sections. It gives your content room to breathe and other. Okay, I'll just use this example to explain. This here, sorry, can I have that one, please? Back. Okay, let me just explain from here. The space between the sun, the space between the sun and the text is your white space. Okay. Also, the space between your text also is known as white space. The space between the name down there and the quote up there is your white space. So white space is not just space. It's actually spacing, but they just give it the fancy name, I guess. So I don't know if we understand. Next slide, please. Alignment. Alignment is something you do all the time, even if you don't realize it. Whether you type an email or create a document, the text is aligned automatically. When aligning objects by yourself, for instance, image and separate boxes, getting it right might be tricky. The most important thing to be is consistent. In the example here, you can see some lines. When you are designing, actually, there are tools that help you align. You just turn it on your Photoshop or Illustrator. Most of us that use Photoshop here, you should know. So it helps you put everything in order so your design doesn't look up and down. Even when you are typing, also, you see like a ruler up. If you put it on, so it helps you align. Next slide, please. Construct simply means that one item is different from the other. In layout and composition, construct can help you do many things like catch readers, create emphasis, or call attention to something important. In this, for example, what they did here is caution first. No matter how you don't want to read this, if you are passing and you look at this, you will notice the caution sign first, then caution, radiation, because purpose, I don't know about that. To create constructs in the example below, use caution. we use color, sorry, and objects of different sizes. This makes the design more dynamic, therefore more effective at communicating its message. Constructs helps people. Constructs helps people look at your design, helps people notice your design. Next slide, please. Hierarchy. Because of time, I'll just explain this and next one. Hierarchy helps the reader to follow a certain pattern of how he or she is going to read, or how he or she is going to go through a design. For example, if you look at this first, the first thing you're going to see there is save the date. Then for the marriage, Courtney and Anthony and all that. Because the reason why save date is so large is so that when someone looks at the card, that's the first thing he goes through. Then they use other fonts and other sizes to just map out the journey of how you're going to read. Next slide, please. Then repetition. In your design, especially for mobile apps and websites, once you start using a color, or once you're making use of a color, it is advisable to keep using that color, because you don't want to open a website and you are somewhere, then you click on a tab, or sorry, you click on, let's say, profile, then you open your profile and you see a different set of colors on the same website. It's kind of confusing, actually. So repetition is very important. It helps people to get used to your design. Next slide. User interface design, UI, is used to bridge the system between human beings and application, and human beings and the system is used in web and mobile applications. Next slide. Next. In interface, basically, we have two major ones, which is Android and iOS. Most people prefer iOS. Me personally, I prefer iOS because it is actually nicer to me, actually. So the difference between Android and iOS is the Android makes use of a material design. They both make use of flat design, but Android makes use of material design. Then Apple makes use of human interface design. Okay, iOS is based on three main principles: difference, clarity, and depth. The content of the application is its most important part, and it can be obtained using white space fonts. Android material design is based on observation of the real world, studying paper as a layer that creates the structure of the whole system. Next slide, please. Some differences, if you notice, Android and iOS. This is iOS, this is an Android. Next slide. Next. Okay, navigation bar. iOS does not, in iOS navigation bar, it doesn't make, you see this is what they call a hamburger menu. iOS doesn't use a hamburger menu, only Android makes use of that. Even your backspace, it's mostly swipe on iOS, swipe back, but Android gives you a back button down. Although on most applications on iOS, you actually have a back button up. Next slide. User experience design, next. Okay, user experience design is the process of enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty by improving usability, ease of use and pleasure, provided interaction between customers and the product. User experience goes hand in hand with user interface. After you design an application, you want people to be able to continue using the application. The experience you give to users is what makes people come back to your application. Your design might be nice, but once they open it and they have it's so technical, they don't know what to do here and there, it causes a lot of problem and they might just uninstall the app straight. So the elements of user experience is the surface, which is visual design or UI, which you just spoke about. The skeleton, which is wireframe. That's how, what happens next when you do this. Interaction patterns, global navigations. The scope, which is functionality of the app, the usefulness of the app, and the requirements of that particular app. The strategy, that means who is this app for, or who am I creating this app for, or who are the particular people that want to make use of such an app. Next slide. Okay, user experience design. Before you go into your UX, you need to briefly, before, if someone invites you to do UI UX design for them, before you go into the UX, you need to ask them what exactly they want. Ask until you know. That's briefing. You need to create hierarchy and flow. That's how your app journey is going to be. If I press login, what's going to happen next? Wireframing, make a plan. Prototyping, it shows what are the flaws in your application. You have to give people to test it. You have to use it for some time before you now launch it. User interface design, user testing and fighting, what I spoke about. Analysis and reports, that's how many people like the application at the end of the day, how many people don't like it, how many people, what can you change, what can you improve on. Next slide. Toolkits. These are just some of the toolkits that they make use of. Figma is for user interface design. XD, Sketch. XD is both Mac and MacBook. Can use on MacBook and Windows. Sketch, I don't know about Windows, but I know they use them on Mac mostly. Then Figma is an online user interface design. So there are also other ones. InVision, you can use your Photoshop also, but it's kind of technical. So next slide. Okay. People ignore design that ignores people. So if your design is not friendly or user friendly to people, no matter how good it is, they won't want to make use of it. Next slide. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, with permission, very quickly, I want to run a live demo, 5 minutes. Sorry. Okay. Of making use of Adobe XD. Is the screen on? Sorry. Okay, this is Adobe XD. This is just a basic interface for iPhone X or XX. Anyone. So I'll just create a very quick login page, then we'll round up. Let's use rectangle. Sorry. Okay. Then just align this here. So now it's aligned to the middle, and I like using rounded rectangles personally. So just do that. Then I create a duplicate of this. Sorry. Just click on that one then. Sorry, I'm trying to rush, so no. Okay, so now it's aligned. Text here should say username, I guess. Text. Username. See. Okay. Then password. Password. Okay. So okay. Okay. Then you're signing here. Okay. Okay. Sorry. That login. Okay. Login. Thank you. Okay. So just center this. Then let's just add into color. What's this? Okay, this is an online problem. Okay, let's add this color to this. Fill. Fill. Let's make this ash. Let's use the ash. Username, password, login. Okay. One more thing. Okay, forgot password. That should be down here. Question mark. Okay. So. Okay, so basically this is just a very fast one. Normally there should be a background, then icons up and everything else. Then I don't know if I'll be able to. Okay, so now just do a quick prototype of this. Sorry. Let's select this and comes here. Tap transition. Okay, no, sorry, tap. Okay, then let's see how this works first. Okay, so this is our login page now. So when you put your details, name, password, and tap, it goes, sorry, there's nothing on the next page, so that's why this place is blank. It goes to your login. So basically this is just a prototype of how most applications, web applications and phone applications work. So thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause for Courage Egbude. How many of us picked something like you loved what he did? You don't now, like, before the mobile apps guys or guys doing any app, before they do anything, the UI and UX designers, they need to implement the feature and before they push to them. How many of us followed, okay, Apple launched iPhone 11 and stuff, Samsung. How many of you followed the launch? Like how they display those videos and stuff. Like it's designers that do those things and they make like cash, cool money. Okay, so I'm going to ask one question. Let me see. Okay, I have one sticker here, a GitHub sticker. Person that is going to answer will get this sticker. So what's the first 3 things you do in design before, okay, let's say you want to start a design, you want to design like Facebook, what's the first thing you're going to do? The second thing and the third thing? Anybody? This is yours. Anybody? Okay. All right. Let's start with you.
The first thing to do is you consider the form, then color. After form, then color comes. The color combination you have to use in your designs. Then you look at your fonts like collections.
A round of applause for him. He tried. Okay, I'll make it to the second person. We have a girl.
I have the form, color, and the typography.
Wow, nice. Can you just clap for her? So subsequently, we'll be asking questions. So we want you guys to be focused and pay attention. Please, when you're tweeting, please tweet at our sponsors, GitHub, Education, Landmark University, DSC_Landmark, Udemy, and Ingressive. Thank you. And voice first. Okay. Our next speaker will be talking on. Our next speaker will be talking on DSC Landmark. Okay. Developer Student Clubs Landmark. And guess who that person is? The person that will guess, you win another sticker. Wow, a lot of hands. Okay, I'll give somebody I don't know, like I've not met the person. Yeah. Who's the speaker that is talking?
The college rep for engineering is just
Wrong. Who's the speaker that is talking next? I'm not giving anybody I know, no. Someone I don't know. I know all these guys, no.
Craftsman.
Yeah. Okay, actually I'm the next speaker, so I'm really excited to be here actually. Put your hands together. I don't know, I'm really stoked and excited. So the cameraman, you do a lot of work today because I'll be working and stuff. I'll be. Okay, my slides. How many of you here, you know me or you've seen me before around? Please, if anybody tells you any negative thing about me, I beg, I'm not the person. I'm a nice person. And I promise that during our lunch, I'll meet everybody here and you tell me like what you guys do and okay, the problems we'll solve together. Trust me, I'll meet you guys. Okay, before I start, if you know you're tweeting now, like just, you're tweeting now. Okay, I want you to do something for me. I just want you to tag me right now at the Craftsman on Twitter. Okay, I'm about to talk to you guys about Developer Student Clubs, Landmark University. Can you do that? At the Craftsman. You see my picture? I think I'm wearing the same cap. Just, you can snap me. I know I'm not fine. Just, anyhow, just snap me at the Craftsman on Twitter. Thank you. In the next 2 seconds, we should do that. Is the Wi-Fi free? Yes. No. Ah, why? Bio Alpha. You said it's free. Okay, I think we have done that. So, next slide. Okay, this my talk will be on DSC Landmark University info session. So, meet and greet with the DSC core team. Learn more about DSC activities and plans for the year. Next slide. Wow. This was meant to be a GIF, like, please. Can they play this? It's just a GIF. Oh my God. Is that possible? Oh no. Okay, I don't think that's possible, but this GIF was okay. I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, sorry, let me connect. Is it showing? Is it showing? Okay, yeah. You see, these basketballers, this our talk is on meet and greet, so they shaked and they hugged each other. So after this conference, this is our official. Okay, the people who brought about this, Stephen Okwade, Adojo, and Musa, they met me last night, and they were like, we are setting up a tech community in Landmark, so we need an official greet and meet. So this is our official hug anywhere outside this. So boys to boys, just girls to girls. No. And so anybody that sees us do this, they'll know that this is Tech LMU. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. So what is DSC? Developer Student Clubs is a Google program for university students to learn mobile and web development skills, design thinking skills, and leadership skills. DSC is not owned by Google, no. It's a Google developers program for university students. Okay, what brought about this was Google developers, they saw that students love to solve problems and build stuff, but they lacked resources and tools. So they were like, why can't we give these guys our resources and tools for free and have a lead in their school? So now, concept of DSC. The DSC program is a grassroots channel through which Google provides development skills, mobile and web development skills for students towards employability. Gone are the days of, sorry, forgive me, I'm not trying to mock anybody here, but gone are the days of, I read, which course now? I read agric and horticulture engineering. Gone are those days, okay. Or I read mechanical engineering. I have 6.0. No. What can you do with your mechanical engineering? What skills do you have? We are in the 21st century where these skills do matter and they count. So, and towards employability, you must have these skills, either web, mobile, or cloud skills. Thank you. Why DSC? For students to learn development skills, solve problems through technology, and inspire them to be world-class developers and change makers. How many of us want to be world-class? That when you enter a tech event, oh, this guy, he was the one who implemented this feature. Okay, I'll just give you an example. I went for a tech event this year. How many of us know Robert John? Wow, nobody. Robert John. Robert John is the only African certified Google Cloud guy. So he just entered and he sat down. Everybody just stood up and they were saying, that's Robert John. So things like this, world class. When you enter somewhere, everybody wants to work for you and stuff. Next slide. Target audience. DSC activities are targeted at student universities and any others, including faculty members who want to learn development skills and work to solve real-life problems. How many of us want to solve problems in Landmark? there's a guy now, he's trying to automate our CAF. You know, now we pay tickets, we buy tickets with cash. And he queue. Like me now, last night I was tired, I was in the CAF. As I saw the queue, whoa, I turned back. I was just tired, so I couldn't queue. So now, that's a problem. How do we implement this feature? Okay, why not set up a screen where students just go and point what they have, and there's no queue. That's kind of problems we love to solve in Landmark. How many of us love to do that, to solve more problems? Even in our farm, there are a lot of problems in the farm. You can automate this stuff. Opportunities DSCs provide students with grow their knowledge on developer technologies and more through peer-to-peer workshop and events. Okay, this event is just like an introduction to what is going to be happening. Have you guys written your webmails? Okay, a link will be sent out today. So you pick your stack, like, okay, I do. For me, I was deceiving myself before that I want to learn design. I used to do Photoshop. Ah, man, I suffered. There was one time I was doing design, Java. I write Java. Java is my most hated language. Like, I can't do that. See, I can't come and kill myself. Downstairs, I saw one guy. He was coming for this event. Do you know what he told me, guys? He was like, Ore, I say yes. He said, I know you do Python, but let me bust your head. I do C#, I do C, I do C++, I do Java, I do Kotlin. I was like, only you. So how do you get focused? He said, I'm not focused. I just want to learn everything at once. No. So I discouraged him just at once. I told him, okay, you just focus on what you want to learn and let it speak for you. Me, myself, if you know of DevOps, that's just what I do. Basically, I call myself AWS DevOps engineer. I just work with, how many of you use cloud? Azure, Microsoft Azure, AWS, DigitalOcean. Wow, I would love to meet you guys. So gain relevant industry experience by solving problems for local organizations with technology-based solutions, getting inspiration to be world-class developers and change makers from sharing other success stories, showcase their prototypes and solutions to their local community and industry leaders. So this last one, showcase their prototypes, is something we'll be doing often. We just invite, okay, the Vice Chancellor of Landmark University, or if possible, if our Chancellor is around Papa, you know, okay, these are what these students built. Just come and see, come and watch us demo this live and stuff. So, this last sentence, oh wow, it's down. Google does not own or manage DSCs. You and I do. It was just a platform set up by Google developers to help students solve problems. Google doesn't manage them. You and I do. It's our own. Anything we need, we, among ourselves, but we seek for sponsorship though, but among ourselves, we sort these stuffs out. Developer student clubs, helping students bridge the gap between theory and practice. How are we going to achieve this? Connect. Meet other students on campus interested in developer technologies. All are welcome, including those with diverse background and different major. I'm from CBS. Anybody? CBS. Accounting. Banking and finance. Interrail, Masscom. Anybody? Which department? Wow. So only him. Jesus. So we need to bring more guys like into these our communities. We need to tell them you don't need, it's not a must, you must be in computer science or EIE to come and write code or come and do design or come and do testing. No. Everything has changed. Gone are the days we do such. we need to bring other guys from accounting and stuff. Let's come and solve problems. Let's build stuff together. Learn about a wide range of technical topics where new skills are gained through hands-on workshops, in-person training, and project building activities. Grow. Apply your new learnings and connections. Sorry, next slide. Apply your new learnings and connections to build great solutions for local problems. Advance your skills, career, and network. Give back to your community by helping others as well. That very last sentence is very important. Give back to your community. Okay, we are the guys who started this stuff. The guys after us, what will they do? We need to tell them, okay, this stuff must not die, it must continue. How many of us get? Are we together? Because this is very, very important. Because when most of the organizers, permit me to say this, most of the organizers, we are already in our final year. So as we are leaving, you guys are taking over. We are giving you the mantle. Okay, come and do stuff, come and build stuff. Come and give back to Landmark community and Omu-Aran if possible. Technologies we are excited about. Android development. I do Android. Anybody? You've built an app before? Wow, nice. Android. So, what's the official language now for Android? Kotlin. You know, Kotlin now makes things easy. The syntax is beautiful. That's why I said I hate Java. Like, guys who write Java, I double it for them. I'm serious. If you do Java, meet me, I'll double it for you. Kotlin now makes things easy and stuff. You know, Google released Pixel 4, that was like last week, and the features on Pixel 4, they were like super awesome. So Android development, DSCs provide us with resources to teach guys about Android. So we'll be organizing workshops on Android development. Next slide. Web development. I do web. I know everybody here does web. I do web. Wow. Website. Which language? HTML, CSS, design. Do you do JavaScript? Nice. You know now, I don't do web, but I think I know a little. Do you know of Jamstack, Gatsby.js, and stuff like that? So we'll be introducing you guys to all these new tools and resources. Cloud computing, that's my area. I do cloud. Yeah. What have you implemented? Like, what do you do? Huh? Oh, nice. Okay, like you SSH into a remote server and stuff like that. Okay. You know, how many of us know I can be here and access a server in Pakistan on my laptop? How many of us know that? It's possible. AWS, there are a lot of data centers, so I can just choose the data center I want to work with and do stuff. So machine learning. How many of us know what machine learning is? Machine learning. Okay, so we'll be teaching you guys about these tools. My time is almost off, and resources. UI, UX. Corey spoke to us about UI and UX. So meet the team. Sorry, next slide. So passionate students and faculty staff driving the success of this program. Mr. Asani, please put your hands together for Mr. Asani. He's our DSC mentor. Ori Aruwaji, that's me, DSC lead. Adeojo Emmanuel, cognizer, web engineer. Adeni Mayokun, Android developer. Kalango, mobile. Musa, web engineer. Okwade Steven, full stack developer. Ebude Courage, UI UX. Arongbolo Samuel, cloud and embedded. Olushoga, designer. So these are the core team members. After this session, I want everybody to meet them. They're actually good guys, trust me. Trust me, I'm even the least among all of them. Like, I'm the least, so. So meet them, talk to them, if you do web, there are a lot of guys here that do web, so just talk to them and enjoy yourself. Okay, I think this next slide, this was the least important thing. This is just a brief about myself. DevOps, I call myself a DevOps ninja. I'm the DS lead, and I'm also a Microsoft student partner, which means I get access to Microsoft tools for free, Azure Visual Studio. Then I blog at Medium. You can catch me up GitHub. I also blog at DevTo, and Twitter at The Craftsman. Thank you, guys. Yes. Okay, so okay, we are going on a break now, a 20 minutes break. So we'll be sharing the stickers, you guys will eat. It's actually a networking session. So the morning before I started, for those who were not here, this is how we are doing it. Okay, now, when you guys stand up, okay, let's say these three guys. This guy will meet this guy and tell him his name and what he does. So when you finish, you meet this guy. So I want everybody to meet everybody in this place. I'm serious. I'm serious. Clef, meet everybody in this place. Okay, example now. Tola,
Michael,
I do DevOps.
I'm an aspiring web developer.
Nice. So stuff like that. So we are going on a break now. The break has started. So be sharing the stickers and our food. So I want you to meet everybody. Stand up, guys. Everybody stand up. We've been sitting. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Thank you. Stand up, please. We've been sitting for almost how many hours now? Stand up. So meet people that you have never met before. Meet them and tell them what you do. Thank you. Nobody goes out, except you want to ease yourself. Nobody goes out.
So yeah, we're starting. I'll just try to go with the guys that have Git installed because we're running on time. Next slide. Console, please. Next slide. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, so I'll be talking on now, or I'll be introducing you guys to Git and GitHub. Next slide, please. Brief intro about me. My name is Mayokwa Adeni. I'm an Android developer. I'm a GitHub campus expert. I tweet at Mayokwa Adeni, GitHub, Mayokwa then I do some technical writing, mayokwaadeni.tech. So yeah, before we start, check if you have Git installed, you have your GitHub account, and your favorite editor. If you don't have any, you can use Notepad, I guess. Yeah, so what we'll be looking at today, what is Git and GitHub? We'll be looking at fundamentals of Git. We'll be exploring the GitHub universe, and then you'll be creating your first pull request here right now. In line with, there's this event going on, Oktoberfest. So you make 4 or more pull requests, you win a t-shirt and stickers and stuff like that. So we'll be doing that here. So let's jump in. What is Git and GitHub? Git could be a global information tracker sometimes. So you're in a good mood, you wrote your code, your tests are passing, everything is working fine. To you, that time, Git is just a global information tracker. But then sometimes, Git could be a goddamn idiotic tool when it breaks. I had, like just this morning, I was working on something, and I think Adeojo was with me. And the university where I was complaining, I was having issues with this Git. So sometimes it could be a goddamn idiotic tool when it breaks. But seriously now, so what is Git? So I said Git is a distributed version control system. And for you to understand what Git is, you need to understand the basics of version control. So basically what version control means is just look at it as a file tracking system. So I said it's a system that records changes to a file or set of files over time. So you can record specific versions later. So the concept of version control is just to track what you are working on. So you are working on the project, and your version control system you are using actually helps you track each version of your project, okay? You add a new line, you add so line of codes. So your version control system helps you track, you know, each step of your project. And so like I said, version control helps you track stuff. So Git actually helps you know the history of what has changed in your files. Git can help or serve as a backup system sometimes, and it could serve as a collaboration tool. Okay, so you want to work on a project with your other team members. So you need a version control tool, you need to share code, you need to collaborate on, you want to work on a single project. So version control, or let me say Git, helps you do that. So what is GitHub? Basically, GitHub is a website that allows you to use Git and create repositories online, okay? So you, GitHub is basically, should I say, the web version of Git. So it helps you store your project online for free. As I think this year, GitHub made private repositories free for everybody. And so like I said it provides a web-based graphical interface. And for you to understand what I'm saying, you need to understand what a repository is. So yeah, a repository is a container that houses your project and its history. So you create a new file, let's say your name.txt, and what a repository is just like a folder, just let's put it like that, okay? So it houses your project. And how you know you're working in a Git repository is that you have a .git folder in that repository, or in that folder, something like that. So you see something, you see a folder named .git. That's when you know, okay, I'm working in a Git repository. Yeah, so we want to, let me fire up my terminal. So like I said, if you run Windows OS, you should have Git bash installed. Then if you run Linux or you run Mac OS, fire up your terminal. Then you can check if you have Git installed, git-version. I don't know if you can, wow. So yeah, git-version to check if you have Git installed. I don't know how this will work. So how many of us have Git installed now? Okay, so yeah, and do you have a GitHub account? Okay, so the first step to using Git or even getting started with GitHub is to let Git know who you are, okay? And so you do that with this command line. So you type git config -- global user.name, then you put your username there. Then next line you type git config -- global user.email, put your email address there. Okay, so why you need to do this is your account on GitHub, you are trying to connect it to the Git tool on your machine, okay? So you are trying to let Git know who you are, because every time you try to make a commit, you try to make a pull request, it will keep asking for your username and password. So to get that out of the way, type in git config -- global. I will do that now to demonstrate. So like I said, git config. I've done that already on mine, but so who's following along? Who has done this? Git. Have you done this? Okay. And so if you have a GitHub account, the text that will go in there is your GitHub username, okay? When you open your GitHub account, that's on github.com. The text that is going in here, that's your GitHub username. So mine is Mayokundi first. So I hope you can see what I'm doing there. Then next, I'm trying to configure my email address with Git. So the email address I used to open my GitHub account is what I'll put in here. So git config . Yeah, so that's the first step to using Git, okay? Git config global your username, then git config global your email address. So who has done that? You've done, okay, cool. Yeah, so let's make our first Git repository. I don't know how this works on, I think if you run git bash, that's on Windows, I think you should be able to do this. So I'll do that here now. Okay. So yeah, what I'm doing, I'm trying to create a new directory, okay, on my, okay, let me go to desktop. Okay, if you run git bash, I think you should be able to do this. Who runs, who's using git bash? That's on Windows. You could do this. So we're trying to create a new Git repository, okay? And how you do that is you make a new directory. That's what this mkdir is for. So that's making a new directory. So what I'll be doing now is so yeah, if you come to your desktop, I think you should see a new folder, my project. Yeah. So who has done that? Who is with me? mkdir, then the name of the folder you want. We're using my project here. So make directory, make a new directory on, you can do it in your documents, you can do it in downloads, anywhere. So just change directory to your desktop or to your downloads, anyone. So have we done that? Sure, please, guys, let's just go around. So are we good? Are we good? Who has done that? Okay, and you can see the folder, right? Okay, so let's cd into the new folder or into the new directory. So sorry, yeah, so I've changed directory into the new folder now, so I'm kind of inside the new folder. So what we want to do now, so initializing a Git repository, you do this git init. So you initialize, like you are creating a new Git repository, sort of, you get, so you are creating a new Git folder, something like that. So that's what git init stands for. Please, who is with me? Have we all done this? Are we on this? Whoa. Do we have Git installed? How many people have Git installed? So those that are not following him, what's the challenge? Your account or the Git bash? So speak to me as well. There's no time. We have to do this as well. He has gone far, but then like 2 of you or 3 of you are following. So what's the issue account? Please, if your Chrome is on the computer, you need to come back. That's one issue. Then, eh? What is it? That's the story. Oh, so we don't have a GitHub account, right? You know what we'll do? If you have a GitHub account, you have Git installed, I think maybe you should just pay up. Maybe just for now. I'll share the slide so you can do that maybe on in your hostels or stuff. So who is with me? Who is here? Who has created a Git folder? Okay, so I started with, I changed directory to my desktop, okay? Then I made a new directory that's like a new folder, my project. I cd'd into the new folder and initialized the folder to be a Git repository. So that's the first step of initializing, okay, your Git repository. So that's why I said, I hope you can see this. Yeah, you can see. So yeah, we've made a new directory, we've initialized it. So yeah, we want to look at the fundamentals of Git. I call it Git 101. the fundamentals of Git. Just hold that initialized repo. We'll still get back to that. Yeah, so we want to look at commits. So yeah, I said commits are also known as revision or an individual change to a file. So when you're working with Git, let's say you have a file, let's say fruits.txt, and fruit.txt contains, let's say, 2 lines, let's say oranges, apples, or stuff like that. Now, when you go back to add a new line, let's say you add grapes to that file, okay, and then you save, okay, you save that file. So you've kind of made a commit, or they'll relate it back to Git, okay? So that's just what the process of commits are. So making a change to a file is called a commit, okay? And checkpoints or snapshots of the states of your repository, your project, is called a commit also. So each change you make to a file, each change you make to a project, each change you make to a folder, okay, it's called a commit. So that's just what commits are. And so let's get back to our repository here. Now to check the status of your Git folder, or your Git repository, you type in Git status. Okay, so if you see, it said I'm on the master branch and I've not made any commit yet. You know, we created a new folder, right? We created my project, right? Now, we've not done anything in my project, we only created it. That's why it's saying no commit yet. So like I said a commit is when you make a change to a folder, you make a change to a repository, okay? So we have not made any change yet. That's why we can see no commit yet. It means no change has been made to this project. And let's get back to the slides. So yeah, we've done Git status. So I said Git status shows the state of your working directory, okay? So to see the state of your working directory, you use Git status. That's obviously status. You should be able to. Now let's do something now. Let's add a new file to that project, to that folder, okay? Okay, if you can do that, you can just touch fruits.txt. It's kind of like creating a new file, okay? Or you can go back. Oh, okay. Just go to that folder you created. You can see my project, and I think if you see what I did, when I did touch fruit, it created a new file, okay? So if you're on Windows, just go to the folder. I think right-click, create new file, fruits.txt. So who has done that? Okay. I'm sorry, okay. So if you are working on Windows, just go to the folder you created. Okay, have you initialized your Git repository? So go to the folder and create a new file there, fruits.txt. I'm so sorry if we can't get a lot of people along, but it's no time. So if you've done that, fruits.txt, who has done that? Okay. Now that's why I just did touch fruits.txt. Now if I type git status again, you notice it's tracked that I added a new file there, right? So basically, that's what I told you. Git is just like a file tracking system. So what Git does, it tracks your project, it tracks your folders, your files. So when I added a new file, fruit.txt, Git notified that, okay, you have done something, you've added a new file. That's why I see it in red. But I've not yet, I didn't save, kind of. I've not yet saved. So that's why I said, nothing added to commit, but on track file present. If you see, they said, I've not added anything to commit. I've not saved anything to the Git repository, but I just created, I've not saved. So, so we get to the next command, that's git add fruits.txt. Now, to save your changes or to save changes you've done to a project, okay, you use this command, git add fruits.txt. So if I type that here, okay? And I type git status again. You notice it now says new file fruits.txt and it's green now. When we didn't, before we entered this command, this git add fruit.txt, you know, the file was red. Git was trying to notify us that we haven't saved our changes. So although we've not still saved, you say changes to be committed, we've not saved it yet, but git add just tells Git, okay, I've added a new file, please track this file for me. That's what git add does. So then if you are working on a very large project, you know this one we just created a new file, fruits.txt. If you're adding like, let's say 1 million files, you're working on let's say an Android Studio project, you have like thousands of files. You can't just be adding each file, okay? What you do is you just do git, let's do this again. Just do git add full stop. So what this full stop means is you are adding all the files in that folder. You are trying to tell Git to track it for you, okay? So that's what git add full stop means. Git add all, okay? So okay, guys, so before we continue, I want to recognize the presence of Mr. Noah Olaibi. Mr. Noah is a student development representative with the management. So if you have any idea, you have anything you think can be helpful to students, you go to see Mr. Noah. Okay, so thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence. So let's continue. So like I said, to add thousands of files, or you want to add a lot of files to your Git repository, use git add full stop. So now we want to save this file that I've added to Git, okay? And that's what this next command does, git commit, okay? Now, like I said, the git commit is you're kind of saving, okay, what you just done. But now, in Git, you can't just save like that. You have to add like a commit message, a save message. Let's just put it like that. So that's what this next line of code is for. So if we go back and do this, now what the -m is just, it stands for message, okay? Git commit message. So let's just say add fruits.txt. Now, you notice, look at what came up. It said 1 file changed, 0 insertions, 0 deletions. So it means we've saved that change, okay? We know, we started from initializing the project, then we created a new file in the project, that's fruits.txt. And I said we had not saved the file we just created. So what we did was git add the name of the file, or sometimes you can do git add full stop to add all files. Then we are trying to save our change with what? Git commit. That's, I told you commit is like making a save. So you can just read it as git save, then the message. So add fruits.txt. So practically we've saved the change to our repository. So what you've just done now is you've created your first commit, okay? You've created your first repository, you've created your first commit. So you're getting to use Git. And creating a new repository, like I said before, if you were following, I said a repository is like a folder, okay? Like a Git folder. So a folder that contains your project files, your working directory. So that's just what a repository is. So I don't know how this will work. A lot of us don't have a GitHub account already, but if you do github.com, if you open github.com, I think you should be able to. Who has a GitHub account? Please, are you still following me? Are you still following me? Okay. So if you have a GitHub account, you go to github.com. Want to create a new repository online, okay? Okay, that's my screen. So you come to this button and say new repository. And like I said, a repository is just like a Git folder, okay? That contains all your projects, all your files, everything you're working with. Wow. This is sad. Okay. Oh God. Basically, if that website was going through, this is what you should see: creating a new repository. Okay, you're trying to create a new folder, a new Git folder. So what you can see here said repository name. So that's the name you want to give your folder. Okay, your project or your. Most of the time, it's your project name. If you're building an Android app, you put the name of your Android app there. You're building a library, you put the name of the library. Your website, anything you are doing, okay, you put the name there. That's what you see in that repository name. I think you can also look here, yeah. So that's what you see in that repository name. And then, description. So you want to describe what the project does. If I'm building an Android app, maybe a social media app, I put in that description part, maybe Facebook or something, social media application. Then, you come to these two sections where I say public and private. Now, it just means what the words mean, public and private. When something is public, everybody can see. So if you select public and I come to your account, I'll see your projects, I'll see your files, I'll see everything you are doing there. But if you select private, I won't be able to see that repository you just created, okay? So that's just the difference, public and private. And then this last section where you see initialize this repository with a README. Basically, what a README is, README, that's what it means. So when someone comes to your repository and tries to see what you are doing, that's what the README file does, okay? It shows what you're working on. So let's check back and see. Okay, so cool. So I'll be doing that, name of the event, Meets Lmu. So I'm creating a new repository. Who is on this? Okay, so just try and follow me. So Meets Lmu, like I said, you make it, I want you all to see, so I'll make it public. Then, okay. Sorry, still loading. Because this create repository button has been still not up. But then let's put a description. Let's just say Meets Lmu event. Then I say we'll make it public. Now, okay, it's up. Sometimes you can add a license file. What a license means is, okay, you need to understand the concept of open source. And when they say open source, it just means something is free for all. It's open to anybody to pull, to use, you get. So adding a license file basically means you are trying to say, okay, I'm trying to make this free for everyone to use. That's what's basically what a license file is. Then this add git ignore. Now, if you work on macOS, there's this .ds file that always adds to any folder you make. Okay, it's trying to like keep the location of your files. So you want Git to ignore some files. Okay, you don't want Git to track some files. You come here and just add. You see that difference. You want Git to ignore dat files. You want Git to ignore code igniter files, you want to click PHP, so you just go there and add it there. But we won't be doing that now. So let's create this new repository. Let's go back to our slide, wait for that to come on. And yeah, so basically that's just the concept of creating a new repository, okay, on GitHub. If you have, who has done that? You've done that. I'm so sorry if you can't just follow this session because of the internet. I'm so sorry for that. So let's go to downloading and updating repos. Nobody says repository. That's so weird. You just call it a repo, a Git repo. You don't say Git repository, although it's a Git repository, but you say a Git repo. So downloading and updating a Git repo. Let's check back. Wow. Okay, so let's just go through these commands. What a git clone basically means what it means, okay? You're trying to clone something, you're trying to make a copy of it, you're trying to clone it. That's what a git clone does, okay? Then if you see where I put in those braces, I said repository URL. So if I want to clone this, so basically, if this should work and we create this new repository, when you want to clone it, okay, you just get the URL link to that repository, and then you just say git clone, okay? That's what that command is for, okay? You want to download a repository, you want to make a copy of your repository. And what git pull does is, okay, let's say you're working on a project, okay? You're working in pairs, you're working with your friend, and you guys are sharing one repository. That's, you created a public repository, you added contributors and stuff to the folder or to the repository online. So yeah, what a git pull does is to actually like pull changes. Let's say I'm working with Ore now, and Ore makes a change to that folder. I know we are sharing a repository online, okay? Now, I'll do a git pull to actually pull the changes Ore has done, okay? To pull it into my own, because we are working on the same project, right? We are sharing the project. So what a git pull does is just to help you get the changes that your other colleagues have worked on or you have worked on anyhow. Then what a git push does also is to actually submit the changes you have made on your own repository online. So that's what a git push does. So git clone, git pull, git push. Let's see, check on, okay. Yeah, so who has gotten to this? Yeah, so now, when you create a new repository, this is what you see, okay? We've not added any file, we've not done anything. Although we've created the repository offline, okay? But now we want to save those files on GitHub. We want to move our Git repository offline, we want to make it online. So, this will bring me to the next slide. So pushing to an existing repository. So like I said, you know, we had a new folder offline. That was my project, right? And we created fruit.txt in it. So then we went online, we created a new repository, Meets Lmu. So now we want to push that, you know, we want to push that repository, we want to push it online. Now, if you go back to this website, if you look at this part, it said push an existing repository from the command line. So that's what this command does, git remote add, origin, blah, 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 git push, blah, blah, blah. So what these commands mean is, okay, now, the git remote add, the command actually takes two arguments. That's the remote name and the URL, okay? We are trying to add a new remote to our repository. Okay, let's see. So this command, remote, okay? We're trying to add a new remote called origin, okay, to this repository online. And this is the URL. Like I said, git remote add takes two arguments, okay? A remote name, that's origin. We're calling it origin now. And then the remote URL. So that's why you can see the git remote add, origin, HTTPS, blah, 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 blah. So then the git push also to push changes. So if I copy this command, and let's go back to our terminal, and I paste this, okay? So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to add a new remote called origin, okay, to the repository online. So I press enter, and so I try to check for your remotes. I think it's git remote -, let's see. Okay, so git remote -v actually helps show you your remotes, the remotes added to your repository, okay? So we see we just added origin. You know, I said git remote add origin. So the name of the remote we're adding is origin, okay? So, who's still with me? Who is? Yeah, so when you create a new repository online, okay, you come to this line. See, we know we have a repository offline already. So now, you come to this line, you see this git remote add origin, okay? You copy this and go to your CLI and you press enter, okay? Now, who is there? Oh, okay. I'm so sorry for this. That's what this does. Okay, so let's do the second command, this git push. So now, like I said, what git push does is actually helps you push your changes right to a repository. So if we do this, this is actually, we have bad connection, but basically, okay, I think it's working. So slow, yeah. So if you go back to this website and you reload, you should see your fruits.txt there. So basically, that's just the concept of, so you can see fruits.txt. So what we just did, we just added we added an existing repository to the one we had online, okay? So let's continue with our slide. So yeah, what I was just trying to show in this chart is, now you have, like I told you, Git is a tracking system, okay? So when your files, when you are just adding your file, you see that add file, that arrow, it is still on track. Git has not tracked your file, okay? When you add your file, it goes under the tracked branch, okay? So when you make a commit, it moves from the staged to the committed stage, okay? And then when you edit it again, it goes to the modified stage and stuff like that when it goes back. You might not really understand the concept now, but I think if you go back and look at what we are doing, you should get it. So git log, what a git log is basically a log, okay, to show like history, okay? Like I said, Git helps you check the history of your project. So if I come back to this, to my CLI and I do a git log, now you see, it says you know, we entered, when I told you, let Git know who you are, okay? So that was the name I put, Michael first, my Gmail. Then the commit we made was add fruit.txt, right? So that's basically what a git log does. It helps to show your commits, the history of your commit, yeah. So if you go back to that file, to this fruits.txt, and let's say we add oranges. Okay, we save, and we come back here. Git status actually helps us check. Now you see now, it says modified fruit.txt. We went to fruit.txt and added what? We said add oranges, okay? Now, it means you see that's why it's red, okay? We've kind of made a new change to our file. Like I said, Git is a tracking system. So Git is helping us track fruit.txt. So we need to add it again. That's why I said no changes added to commit. Use git add, okay? So like I said, we could use git add all. Okay. So next, we now do a git commit. You know, we just added oranges, right? So now we have to save that change. Let's just say add oranges. So now we say one file changed, one insertion, because we added a new line. So now if I press git status again, you see it said nothing to commit, working tree clean, okay? It means we've saved our changes, and then if you do a git log, you'll be able to see the commits you've made. See now we just added, see, add oranges. That's the second one we've done. Then our initial one, add fruit.txt. I've lost a lot of you guys, but we have to continue that way. So git log actually helps show you the history of your working repository, okay? And let's see next. Okay, Git branches. So basically what a branch means is you have different, should I say, parts of your repository. So if you create a new Git branch, you have a different, should I say, different ham or something of your repository. So like now, you see that stuff in the braces, that's master. So I'm working on the master branch, okay? That is always initialized when you create a new repository on the master branch. So sometimes you might, let's say I'm working with this guy and I'm not sure of his code and stuff like that. So I could tell him to work on a new branch, okay? You should create a new part of the project. So he can be working on that branch, okay, while I work on a separate branch too. So we don't have conflict and stuff like that. So basically, Git branches are like, should I say extensions? So now to create a new Git branch, you just do Git. Okay, this is actually to check for you. Let's just do this first. So now, what this is showing us is that we only have one branch, okay, in our repository. That's called the master branch. And to create a new branch, that's what I say command does. Git branch, my branch. So basically, why you want branches is you don't want errors in your project. You don't want errors in your code and stuff like that. So you just create new projects, new branches, okay? So if I go back and say, and I do a Git branch, I call it my branch. Okay, create a new branch, okay? And to check for the branches, you just do a Git branch. So you see we have my branch and we have master, okay? So that's just basically what the concept of branches is. So if we go back to this, you see I'm still working on the master branch. That's why I see master is in braces, okay? So if I do a Git checkout, then the branch. So now you see switch to branch, my branch, okay? So basically what a Git checkout does, it helps you switch branches, all right? So that's what a Git branch does. So I've moved to a different part of my repository. And so you can work on that branch, make your errors, do your commits there, then when you fix it up, you can then merge it to the master branch. That's what this Git merge is for. So if I go back to, now I'm working on branch, my branch, okay? And I want to pull my changes back into the master branch. So what I just simply do is what this next command says, this Git merge my branch. So if I say Git merge, oh, sorry, we have to switch back to the master branch, okay? And I thought you would do that with Git checkout. So master, okay? So Git merge my branch. Okay, basically it's because we did not add, should I say, we didn't do any new stuff on that my branch, okay? So as I said, already up to date. So it means master and my branch are up to date. They have the same files and stuff. So basically that's what a Git merge does for you. So exploring GitHub. Yeah, so GitHub, or should I say GitHub Education, a branch of GitHub, we have different programs, different technology leadership stuffs that GitHub offers. We have the GitHub Student Developer Pack, okay? So what that gives you, it gives you access to world-class tools to aid you in your learning. I think currently the GitHub Developer Pack is worth, I think, over $60,000 US. So you get access to learning repository, learning resources, I think front-end masters. That's one for, if you want to learn web development and stuff, just get your GitHub Student Developer Pack. Just go do a Google search, GitHub Student Developer Pack. They'll just ask for your students' ID or stuff like that. So you upload that. GitHub Classroom, it just helps, I basically it is for teachers and stuff. GitHub Campus Expert, like I said, I'm a GitHub Campus Expert. So it's basically a program that, should I say, trains students to empower and do stuff in school. You build communities and stuff like that. Then GitHub Campus Advisors. So basically, same thing, a campus advisor, an advisor on campus for GitHub, okay? So these guys actually work hand in hand with GitHub Campus Experts. Yes, so thank you for your time. I'm so sorry it was kind of shady. And yeah, like I said, there's a stuff going on right now, that's Oktoberfest, and we want you guys to understand the concept of Git and GitHub. You might, You might not get what I just said now, everything might look like gibberish to you, but I think when you go back and actually look it up, you understand. So we were meant to get busy, and I think network is not even good, so we can't even do this year. But then, yes. So if you go to techmeetslmu.netlify.com, what we just want you to do there is make your first pull request, okay? Yeah, so the instructions are there on how to make your first pull request, okay? So everything I just talked about, you follow it here. And there's also a cheat sheet here to help you get this done. So to make it fun, first pull request we get and we merge to, if you follow the instructions, you get it, don't worry. The instructions are here, step 1, step 2, everything you should do. So the first pull request will be giving out 20 gigabytes of data and also access to a learning resource worth over $200. So that's for the first pull request. Second pull request, third pull request, 3 gigabytes of data, also access to a learning resource worth over $200. So you guys should do this. So the first 3 people get those stuff I just mentioned. So just follow the steps here. So you go to techmeetslmu.netlify.com to do that. So there's, like I said, there's this program going on October 1st where you actually make 4 pull requests and you get a shirt and stickers, okay? So you guys should go to techmeetslmu.netlify.com. First 3 we get prizes to make a pull request and we merge. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we are so sorry for, I'm so sorry for my session actually. Nobody could follow through with it. And yeah, so thank you. I think, well, okay, let me.
Okay, some guys have unit meeting and all that. So now, just very quick, we want to take a group picture. Everybody just come here. Everybody now, so that guys who have their unit meeting, they can go. Let's stand up. Want to take a group picture. Everybody, including myself, everybody, let's come here. Faithful. Everybody, please stand up. Please, a group picture. Let's climb up. Let's climb up. You know how we arrange ourselves now. Tall guys, medium and all that. Please, let's be fast. Yane, Babadi, stand up. Jones, stand up. Kumolu. Fash. Yeah. Coming. So, tall guys at the back and everything. I think there's this space. Let's just shift small.